Okay. So, all right, so we're gonna look at week 14 now. Week 14 is Gainsborough. So Thomas Gainsborough was famous for his portraits on landscape. So that's what we're gonna be doing this week. The landscape is actually gonna take quite a bit of time because we're using watercolors. So we're gonna more focus on the landscape, and then actually we have these die cut people. So we're just gonna put those on after our landscape has dried, and it's just a really fun look, as you can see. So there's a couple of examples here that you can choose to follow. One of them is more imaginary, the other one is more kind of realistic. And in this book here, it actually gives you a step-by-step of how to do this one exactly. If you want to follow along on that, you are welcome to. However, if you do not want to do that, I am providing these templates, which are kind of more like a step-by-step of how to add each thing, and you can choose to add, certain details or omit them. Then there's this one. So you can choose, if you like these, you can use them. If not, no worries, let the kids use their imagination. However, the place to start in this project is first have your students write their name on their paper. So that every art project goes home with the student that created it. Second thing is you're going to lay some of these die cut stickers or people on the tables, and have each student pick at least one. If not, I think there's enough that everyone could maybe have two, but at least have them pick one. And then what I would have them do is so that they can use perspective, so that their person isn't really, really small next to an enormous tree that's or vice versa, the person isn't really, really huge next to a tiny tree. What I would do is place their person on their paper, and then probably lightly draw the outline of the person so they know exactly where that person's going to be, and then remove them. And then you can have them start with a pencil to kind of guide their way if they want, kind of mapping out, okay, this is where I want this, and I want a tree here, and but you don't have to do that step. So the materials that we're gonna need for this is we've got this 8.5 by 11 watercolor paper. We've got pencils. We've got, for our older students, these watercolor pads. So these will be probably for the masters. And for the younger students, we have these watercolor tubes. And just for the parents and for Rachel, whoever is setting this up, just a little dab, probably smaller than a pea size in each one of these will do for these. And then they just add water, and it goes a really long way. Super easy for the little kids. That way they don't get clouds all kind of messed up. The other thing is we've got these paintbrushes. They might look small, but they're actually, they'll work really well, I think, for this. We also have a cup of water for rinsing their colors. Please remind the bigger kids to set the expectation, remind them, hey, this is how we're going to use this pad. This is how we're going to use the materials. Let's not mix the colors in the pads, that way they stay nice. Yeah, so if we mix the pads or the colors in the pads, then they get kind of gross like that. So have them rinse their paintbrush before changing a color. The other thing, so cups of water, die cut stickers, or die cut people, and then I forgot to pull it out, but we need glue dots and paper towels. So the paper towel is for obvious, after they've rinsed their brush, they can dry it off. And then the glue dots actually are helpful for getting the people on the paper. Yeah, so instead of using actual glue, waiting for it to dry, glue dots, wonderful. So before you begin and you introduce the materials, just introduce, I guess I already did. Gainsborough landscape, portraits on landscape. And then once they're actually immersed in the project and have started, that's when I would go through with your Great Artist book and probably kind of more introduce who Gainsborough was, tell them a bit about his history, read what's in Great Artist book. If you have like the artist cards from CC, you can read that, that type of thing. And remember to just encourage the students along on their journey of creating. And also keep time in mind. This project might take a little bit of time. So help your students be mindful of the time. You're going to probably need about a 5-minute setup, 20 minutes to do the project, and then a 5-minute cleanup. So keep that in mind. Set a timer for yourself and for your students, and have fun. Okay.